Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's episode of Cigar Sundays. Today, boys, I want to spit some friendship game to you guys. I think a lot of people, they really overcomplicate the process of making friends in a new environment, such as Thailand. If you are a young guy who's figured out how to make your money online, you might want to consider coming to a new environment, a much more inspiring environment around people who are more closely aligned to you. And the thing is, making good friends in places like the UK, I kind of get it, because it's very difficult in places like that, because let's say like 9 out of 10 people you meet are gonna have very little to offer you in terms of like friendship, you know, or like anything that you can really relate on. So if you're still in an environment like that and you're thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go out to somewhere more inspiring, you might be thinking like, shit, I need to figure out how to make friends in this new environment. The thing is, you're looking at it through the wrong lens. You're looking at it as if you are still trying to make friends in somewhere like the UK, but frankly, making friends in new environments like this is very simple. And I've thought about it a lot recently myself, because I'm starting to feel a little bit done with where I'm at right now, like Koh Samui. I feel like I'm outgrowing it a little bit. I've been here for quite a long time, and I kind of just fancy a change of pace, you know. Not just yet, but I can sense that starting to, you know, sort of grow on me. Maybe I go to a city for a little while afterwards, or maybe I check out somewhere like Bali, which I know a lot of people, you know, really gas up. So I've had the thought recently, like, oh man, I have so many like amazing friends in Koh Samui. I'm so well connected in Koh Samui. It would be a shame to leave. And then that sort of led me to the question of like, I wonder what the process would be like for me to make new awesome friends in a new environment, and if I'd be any good at that. And this is the interesting part, because I started to have limiting beliefs sort of creep up on me, like, oh Sam, you'll probably have a hard time, man. But the thing is, that's my old identity sort of creeping in on me. I don't think I would have a hard time making incredible friends wherever I go in the world now, especially in places like Bali and Thailand and these sort of nomad spots, because I'm going to find a lot of people who align with me. You know, I might have a bit of a harder time, funnily enough, making friends in fucking Weatherspoons pub in the UK, because I don't really fit into that environment nowadays. But I think that's a pretty good problem to have, in my opinion. So then I was thinking, okay, how would I actually make friends? If I was to go to Bali, what would the friend protocol be? And it's actually so insanely simple. And I think a lot of guys online, they try to overcomplicate it so that they can monetize it. But it's actually very simple. Like, if you think about it, every single guy, every single like successful guy that you want to hang out with, I'm going to try and catch myself saying like. I've noticed, because I edit my own videos, that I say like a lot and a lot. And the reason why I'm editing my own videos is so that I catch myself doing that and I have to edit them out myself, which annoys me. So then hopefully that annoys me enough to stop saying it during my speech. Fun little tidbit for you anyway. It's actually very simple. If you think about every single person that you would want to hang out with, right? What do they do? What do they all have in common? They go to the gym. They lift weights, yeah? So all you have to do, funnily enough, to just network wherever you go, is find the gym that everyone goes to, and just go there. And that's it. For example, on my island, Koh Samui, the gym would be Success Gym. Every single guy that you want to network with, they all go there. No matter how fucking big baller they are, or how, you know, out of reach you think they might be, every single one of them goes to Success Gym. Everyone. So if you just go somewhere and then find the gym, you'll find that if you just make one good friend in that gym, that one good friend will introduce you to this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. And soon enough, you're networked. You're in the network of that place that you're at. For example, Bali, I know for a fact the gym to go to is called the wrong gym, because I've had friends who've came to my island in Thailand and I follow them, and then they go to Bali and I see they all go to the same gym. How insane is that? You can network with literally anyone that you want by just noticing which gym they go to. You don't have to buy a $15 billion networking course. You just need to pull up and go to the gym and make a friend in the gym. And also just be someone who provides any sort of tangible value. And that's not like a monetary sense. I just said like. That's not a monetary sense, but it's more like, it's actual use of like, what energy do you bring to the tribe? Like, do you make people laugh? That's value. It's not all just hedonistic rubbish, like, oh yeah, this guy, I hang out with him because he makes so much money and he owns loads of Rolexes. I know, it's really not about that. It's the value you give. And value is multifaceted. It's not just based around how much money you have or how tall you are or whatever you might think is bringing value to the tribe. For someone like me, for example, I've had numerous of my students come out to Thailand at this point, and obviously they've come to visit me on my island, and they have absolutely no difficulties at all networking. One, because I'm here, so I meet them and then I introduce them to everyone else. But then also they usually just meet people by their own accord because, again, they're just in the gym. And then on top of that, they have a very valuable skill such as video editing, which literally everyone finds value in someone who's good at video editing because everyone's running their own personal brands nowadays. It's a perfect skill to have, and it allows people to sustain their lifestyles out here in Thailand so they can meet all these awesome people. And then it's a snowball effect because you meet all these awesome people and every single person you meet is a potential client of yours as well. It's insane. One of my students, Jackie, came out here recently, met with one of my friends, and then he actually landed a full-time role with this friend of mine, and now he's a videographer for him on a monthly retainer, and he's probably going to be moving to Dubai in the next few months. How insane is that? So boys, a quick plug. If you don't yet have a valuable skill which is going to start to make you money online, I can really genuinely recommend video editing to you. It's a fantastic launch pad. And even if you don't want to be doing that forever, knowing how to video edit means that you can edit your own videos for your own personal brand if that's what you want to do in the future. You can make awesome Instagram reels. You know what sort of editing you want for your long form content. It's just an invaluable skill, okay? The other reason why you want to make friends while you're out here is because you'll tap into other people's energies. For example, my obsession right now is YouTube. I want to master the art of long form content. With that though, it doesn't really allow me to obsess over other facets of my self-improvement. For example, the gym. I've found that as I've obsessed over other things, my gym progress has sort of plateaued. I'm sort of just maintaining it because I'm not obsessing over it like I used to. I used to obsessively eat 4,000 calories a day and spend like 3 hours a day in a gym. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, I just eat at maintenance and I go to the gym for like 45 minutes to an hour. That's kind of maintenance, right? But if you're hanging out with guys who are obsessing over different facets of their development, you can actually tap into that energy. So for example, if I go to the gym with a friend of mine who's absolutely obsessed over the gym, I'm also going to tap into his obsession and I'm going to reap the benefits of that by literally just hanging around with him. And that is insane. And likewise, he's going to reap a lot of the benefits of my obsession over content production by just hanging out with me. Nothing amazing is ever built alone, guys. You do need to make really good friends. And that's why I put such an emphasis on coming out to an inspiring place like Thailand and getting around guys who are doing similar stuff to you. Because more likely than not, if you're watching this and you're in like your hometown, you're in your hometown, it's like uninspiring, everyone's just sort of going out and doing drink and drugs and all sorts, right? What obsession are you able to tap into? Like, oh yeah, I'm tapping into your obsession to do ketamine together. Like, it's just not it. So you're kind of just one man armying it. And the problem is every single successful guy you look up to actually has a team or a circle of friends around them, circle of brothers who are like lifting each other up constantly. Like if I'm down bad and I'm not hitting a gym, my friend is gonna drag me into the fucking gym. It's not a choice, you know? And that's just a really obvious example. There's so many other nuances and these little 1% improvements that you miss by not hanging around the right sort of people. And you might be thinking like, okay, Sam, cool. This makes a lot of sense to me. Why don't I just pay for mentorship? And paying for mentorship definitely has its upsides. But I think what a lot of people miss with mentorship is that you pay someone, especially if it's someone who's like a little bit distant, they're not really down to earth, they're right up here, they've probably got like a bunch of different mentoring students. The problem with that is your mentor is results driven. He wants to get you results. So for example, if I buy a mentor for business, they want me to make the most money as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time so that I can send him that testimonial and he can be like, yeah, look what I did with my mentoring client, you know? And that's all well and good. But you miss nuance once again with paying for mentorship. Maybe earning all of that money in such a short amount of time isn't necessarily the best thing for you. Maybe you became a bit too much of a sellout and you haven't actually focused at all on mastering your content and your personal brand, and you instead hyper-focused on sales, funnels, email marketing, so on. And that might not be exactly what you wanted to do. So you've been actually led astray. Sure, you made money, amazing, we all like making money, but you've oversold. And your mentor, if it's a bad mentor, if it's a mentor who's not like really connected to you and what you want, your vision, there are good mentors, don't get me wrong guys, but paying some guy on Instagram who has like 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers for mentorship, probably has like, 50 guys paying him for it, you're lacking so much nuance and you're potentially shooting yourself in the foot. This is again why having a great circle of friends around you is so valuable, because you essentially get that 3 levels of mentorship without the need for like quick results. We need quick results, Sam, I could make probably quadruple, times 5, times 10 what I'm making now if I went all in on sales and funnels and marketing and I just became a bit of a degenerate. I don't mind selling sometimes, guys. I like making money and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you see a lot of people, I think the difference is, which is how I wrap my head around it, is when guys sit down to make a piece of content, they think first, how do I sell my product? And then they think, how do I serve the person watching the video? And that's the issue. Because with that mindset, you get this content which is weirdly like twisted and contrived towards tinging at people's pain points so that they can buy your stuff, and it might have some value in it, but the purpose of the content isn't to help people, it's actually to just make money. And to me, that is a shame. And if I was to buy mentorship, my mentor would probably skew me towards that pathway, because they might be results driven, but they're not necessarily thinking about the bigger picture, the 1 year down the road when you've turned away all of your core audience because of how much of a fucking sellout you are. But they don't care about that at that point, because they got the screenshot of your revenue going like this within the first month of working together, and that's all they care about. That's the problem with mentorship, which a lot of people don't consider. They don't consider the bigger picture, the long-term vision. What you're doing right now might mean you make less money and you maybe even get like slower growth, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. And just because someone tells you to do something which might give you faster results doesn't mean it's right. I could start spamming out TikToks and short form videos, and that would certainly do me very well in terms of statistics, but it would probably turn away a lot of my more mature audience from my videos. Not the strongest example, but you can see what I mean. Hopefully it wouldn't turn you guys away because you would just ignore the short form videos, you don't have to watch them. You don't have to have TikTok on your phone. Guys, if any of you have TikTok on your phone, you should be ashamed. Surrounding yourself with men who are on their own pathways of self-mastery is so important. If you have guys who are trying to do too much and they're not really mastering anything, they might be nice to hang around with sometimes, but like they're not going to be that valuable to you. But if you have guys who are genuinely autistically obsessive over what they do, maybe it's fitness, those are the guys that you want to hang out with the most, okay? Both if they're mastering the same thing that you're mastering, because you can just master it together and learn from one another, amazing. But also, even if they're mastering something else, you can tap into that energy and it's insane. It's so invaluable. And particularly, guys, you want to hang out with guys who aren't selfish. You want to hang out with guys who are givers rather than takers. You have a lot of takers, guys. Even in places like this, Thailand, you're going to come across your fair share of people who are very selfish. They take value from you and they don't really seek to give any in return. They suck your goodness and your energy away from you. And if you get stung by them too many times, you might find yourself adopting this scarcity mindset with the value that you give to others. And I think that's such a massive shame when that happens. You have to really actively combat this from happening, because from my studying, and I've studied this a lot, givers tend to win in the long run, without a doubt. Sure, takers might win in the short term, but eventually that shit just catches up to them. They've stung too many people, they've turned too many people away from them, they've turned their core audience away from them, and they end up with very little. And These are the guys who are usually spending the rest of their lives selling. Like, they're just trying so hard to convince you, look how amazing I am, look how amazing I am. They wouldn't have had to do that if they weren't such bastards in the first place. And that's what they don't really understand, because they had people backing them from the start, but they just turned their back on them as soon as it was convenient for them. What you want is to be someone who, even when you're in such an amazing position, you still continually give selflessly. You don't necessarily give thinking, oh, it will be useful for me to give to this person right now so that I have a favor to cash in later on down the line, because that makes you neutral. I mean, give. Even if someone doesn't have something to give to you right now, if you have some tidbit of information or some wisdom to give to them, just give it to them. God is watching, and God really smiles down upon men who behave this way. They really do. And I believe that wholly in my heart. And being in environments like this will literally allow you to filter through these types of people a lot quicker. You'll learn the telling signs of a taker by just spending a bit more time out here in, you know, the social media bullshit businessman trenches, okay? Because that's what Thailand is. There is a lot of bullshitters out here, for sure. You'll meet plenty of them, and you'll learn their ways. You'll learn how to dodge them. Again, guys, if you want to start hanging out with more inspiring people, you do need to change your environment. I know how painful it is to be in an uninspiring environment, especially me. Like, seriously, guys, like, my home environment was pretty awful for me. I was hanging around a bunch of guys who were going out every weekend doing ketamine. My home environment was the least inspiring place you could possibly imagine. And now I'm here. I've learned and grown so much, and I've networked with some incredible people. Find a way to make money online. If you don't yet know how, seriously consider video editing, especially if you're like me and you've got like a decent laptop that you play games on, or a gaming PC. That's exactly what I did, and it proved to be very fruitful, and it's proving to be very fruitful for a lot of the guys inside of my academy as well. So you're gonna start seeing a lot more of them on the channel as well. We'll do some vlogs with those guys. Anyway, man, hope that was helpful. Take care, boys.